Okay, this is Dave. I'm still continuing with the chat about the T2HA Toolbar. Let us talk about the next thing, and that will be the... Alright, it would be the article importer, but that's old. That's for article spinning. That's importing a bunch of articles that are on a single text file from like Spin Rewriter, where maybe the article separator on that one file that you export as a zip file would be, say, like 3 pipes in a row. That might be your article separator. Then when you import, you just put your cursor where you want the articles to get imported to, hit that and select that file, and it will ask you what the separators are. Tell it 3 pipes or whatever the separator is, and it will put those in here. Okay, so for article spinning, that article importer works, from like Spin Rewriter. And keep in mind that you want to do it with coding if you're going to be pasting to the feed form in the pages section. Here's what I mean. This is the feed file, the feed form, feed file. And you want to put in the page contents. Well, this is your article. See how it has an H2 header and a closing H2 header, and it's got links and everything else, and the source is this. Well, you got to be thinking about that when you go to Spin Rewriter, because you're going to need to preserve all this stuff or work with all this stuff. It's kind of a pain. Okay, so what's easier, dramatically easier than that, is to be able to just simply use the T2HA toolbar and do what I'm going to show you on the next thing, which is article feeder, especially since we don't need article spin anymore. We really don't. Google's not interested in article spinning. They only want to see a few vars. Okay. Other than that, they expect the content to be pretty much the same for any particular project. They don't mind at all. So let me just pull this down, okay, because that way you can see it better. Okay. I mean, it's in there whether it's rolled up or not. Here's what I did. I started with some page from the back panel and said that's going to be the page content I'm going to use. Now, the welcome page, for instance, if you look at it, you can see it. Welcome to the Gilson Family Chiropractic Center. You go down, there's some images, and then there's a couple of paragraphs, 3, of basic print. Okay, so first of all, what is that on the main site? And we're saying yes to show the sidebar on this main page, by the way. Well, that's this section here. This is the page. Okay, that's it. The headline, the images, and those 3 paragraphs. Everything else here is not the page. This is a sidebar that we decided to show. These are the licensed services, products that we put in a different section. This is a top banner. It's a different section. Okay. And down here is other stuff. The service boxes are testimonial blocks, the final logos and so forth. All right. So the page is just this piece that I pointed out here. That's the page. Okay, and that's what you saw in here, the page. Okay, now what do you think the next pages are going to be if we went to a deeper page? Okay, well, there you go. This is the page, right? And everything else makes sense. It's all going to look something like that. Okay, this one has a patient form, but this is the page. Okay, that's it. The online store is a little more interesting because we turned the sidebar off to make more room. Okay, so we could paste in some cool imagery, right, and make the links work the way we want. That was the idea there. Okay, so now the page starts here and it includes those images. Okay, that's the page because there's no sidebar. Okay, anyway, if we go here, we can go to pages and choose any old page we want to use. Like there's that online store. See, no sidebar. And there's the page. Okay, that's our products, by the way, like Power Strips or Forever Green. Okay, and then iTherm is some other product that they have. Okay, iTherm. Okay, so we want to use whatever page for our, expansion project, and we want to create a lot of pages on the site. We just want to use the content. So maybe I started with this content and then worked with it. Once you choose your content, don't just copy it and paste it into Excel. It doesn't make sense. Go to the source code. Copy the source code and paste it into Excel. Control-Alt, Control-C. Okay, and then we'll work with it from there, and that's what I did. So I went in here and I pasted it in here. By the way, if you go paste it into a cell, how do you do it? You don't just click the cell and hit paste, or it's going to spread it out, okay, across several cells. See, there's some in this cell, some in that cell. That's not the right idea. What we need to do is double click inside the cell and then Control V, and that way it all gets pasted inside the one cell. Then we can click off the cell, but it's all inside that one cell, 17 in this case, see? And we can roll it up if we don't want to see it all, okay? It's still in there. All that stuff is still in there, whether we can see it or not. All right, delete. Now, boom. Here's what I did. I pasted it in, then I started to modify it. I didn't touch the coding. I worked around the coding, H2 tag and H2. I didn't touch those. But I changed the title to something more useful to me. And for the image alt tags that were just double quote, it did look like that, empty. You know, I put some tags in there too. Now what I do, I added variables. I introduced variables so I could really create my big website expansion project. So I've got variable 1, variable 2, and variable 3. var1, var2, var3. Okay? var1 is a bunch of keywords that relate to me. var2, a bunch of geo targets that relate to me, that being the idea. Then var3, like my products, okay? And then what did I do with my article? I seeded the variables into my article wherever I saw fit. Find the best var1 and var2 means find the best whichever one of these keywords in whichever one of these cities. Okay, that's it. And yes, you can use these vars more than once. Here's var3 serving var2, whatever that means. Power strips serving Chicago, for example, or power strips serving San Diego. Okay, iTherm serving Atlanta, whatever the combination would be showing up in here. Before you ask, if var1 is chiropractor, then every var1 will be chiropractor. If var2 is Atlanta, then every var2 in this article will be Atlanta. Okay, in this case, all right. So yeah, it's not going to mix and match. That would be really, really weird, right? And we got var2, var1 marketing is Chicago, you know, chiropractic center marketing, whatever the combination is. So what do we want to do? We want to take the seed article that we seeded our variables into, and we want to create a copy of the seed article that works for every combination. That's how we make our website large. And we only want one page per this combination so that Google sees that on purpose. Okay? It's okay if the rest of the stuff is duplicate. We only need a few vars to make our points and get Google to understand what we're trying to show up for. Okay? So the whole thing about latent semantic indexing is that Google fully expects your pitch to stay your pitch, except for the few things that would change. As long as the pages are clearly aimed at different keyword combinations, okay, that's what Google's going to be fine with. That's what the pages are going to show up for, okay, those different combinations. And it's okay if the rest of the page is duplicate content. That's what's changed since the old days. All right, how do I create all these combinations? First, I have to do that. Well, I know I need how many? 4 times 5 is 20 times 3 is 60, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy these because this is what I wanted. Keep in mind, I just hand typed all the stuff in to go with the seed article, okay? I'm going to mass, and that's where I pasted this stuff in, okay? Boom, it's there. All right, now on the mass tab, I hit mass. And the other tab I'm going to hit when I'm all done with this, that's my feeder, right? Article feeder. Okay, so you'll see. First, I need to create all the right combinations. So I go to mass, and I hit mass. And it goes number of results possible 60. Yeah, that's what I want. I want 60. By the way, if it does not give me the right number, probably I did not have a header row, var 1, 2, and 3. Of course I need the header row. I think you would have to have it or else you can never get the seed article right. Okay, so just keep in mind the header row needs to be in here to get the right number of results. You can just double check the math, make sure it makes sense. Of course, I only want 60. If I put 61, I'm going to get a duplicate entry, right? I want a duplicate entry. Okay, submit. Okay, there we go. So now I got this whole thing. That's all the combinations, and it's 60 of them. See, 61 from 2, right? Because you got your header row. The reason it says 61 is because we have a header row. No problem. Okay, let's go paste to where it goes. So it goes right here, really. So just start it right there, and when I paste it, it'll overwrite everything. Okay, there we go. It's all done. Now, I'm good to go. I got my mask done, which created that extra tab. I can delete it now. I don't need it anymore. Okay, and I can come back to my feeder, and I can do it. Article feeder, and it's going to create a copy of the article for every line item. For this line item, it's going to fill it out with those, var1, var2, and var3. For this line item, it's going to fill out that, var1, 2, and 3, right? So here we go. Article feeder. Wow. There, it's done. It created the output column. It shoved everything else over. Okay. So you'll see it's got the words here that go with this one. And if I just, take it down a bit, it's got the words here, for instance, that go with this. Okay. Cairo, Atlanta, power strips, right? Best Cairo in Atlanta, power strips serving Atlanta, Atlanta Cairo marketing, whatever it is, right? Find the best chiropractor center in Detroit or San Antonio, whatever it is I'm pulling up here. Power strips serving San Antonio. There you go. Okay, that's all those articles. Now, what are those? Those are the different pages I want on my website. I want to create, like all these pages, these 60 pages. I want to put those 60 pages. Here's the idea. I'm going to put those 60 pages on my website. So if I was this, I'd have those 60 pages being in here with a sitemap link at the bottom to reach the other pages. There's my sitemap link, for instance. Okay, and that would have a list of all those pages I created. Now, you won't see them in the menu. They'll be attached in the sitemap, but at this point, I'd be able to weave links to them through here if I really want. I can do that. I can put some other page of links or something like that, or sitemap link or anything I want to do to link through to some of those pages, or just leave it in the sitemap, whatever I think is best. Okay. Point is, I can create those pages. All right. So now that I have done this, I can actually create those pages. Where would I copy and paste them? Well, first of all, I don't need this output header, so just delete it. I should just have this done without creating the output header. And then I just put it in the feed form where it's going to go. Watch this. Okay. Let's say this is it. That's the front page, for instance. Okay, I got a bunch of stuff to put in here to fill out the page, but that's a part that has to happen. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put it in here. Paste. Wow. Oh, sorry. Paste. There we go. Okay. Of course, I brought everything down, but I'll just bring it right back up. Boom. Okay. And in effect, oh, that shouldn't be there, though. I went one too high, didn't I? Yep. All right, let me just do this right. Okay, I'll take number 1. Okay, number 1, down through, whatever this is, right? Okay, 60, 1 through 60. That's awesome. And I'm going to put it starting right here. Paste. There. Okay, so it did give me 60, plus those top 2 rows. And that covers all the work I need for those pages. Now, I'm not done showing you the rest of this stuff yet, but as you might gather, we got to think about what we're going to do for page titles, page names, and whether to show the sidebar is going to go down. All these other things have to go down too. These 4 have to go down, and these have to go down. Okay, so we'll just use our heads over how we want to finish this off. This is a browser to the SEO friendly fields, right? The browser title, what it says in the title tag, in the meta description, whether to hide the page in the menu, which is going to be 1. Yes, hide the page in the menu, or else you're going to wind up with what? You're going to wind up with 60 links in the menu is what you're going to wind up with. 60 plus the original are all going to show up in the menu. So we don't want that to happen. The only pages we want to show up in the menu are the pages we want to show up in the menu. All right. So let me just bust on to the next video and we'll finish talking about filling the rest of this stuff out. That'll be kind of fun. All right.